Hi guys, welcome, Scatlink here, and we are off for an update video on the channel, second video of 2022, first being last year's Christmas What's in the Treasure Chest, which we did a little bit of a recap on, projects that we do have going on right now, that being, to Rapid Fire, Shadow Man 2 Second Coming, Pokemon Mo, Fire Red, Zelda 4 Swords Anniversary with the bonus episodes, Hat in Time with Vanessa's Curse for bonus episodes, and of course Majora's Mask 3D, which will be public whenever I finish it. It's still Patreon exclusive until that point. But other than that, this update video is basically because that video was huge, the What's in the Treasure Chest video. I didn't want to inflate that any further. We can have it all in this video, which is to discuss, well, the channel in itself. As you know, we just came into a PS2 backward compatible PS3, so that should improve some things when it comes to the PS2 side of things, PS1 as well, because now I have one on hand all the time. But that's not what I want to get into in this video. If you want to see the PS3 and like comparisons in action, that's at the end of the What's in the Treasure Chest video. I want to keep stressing that there was a lot to talk about. So, and the reason why that was big is because there was a lot of stuff, like, manga and stuff. So what I want to discuss is plans for the channel, because what happened over the past couple of years has been really stressful, as we know. Not going to get into it too much, but you know what happened the past 2 years, and it really went, it really hit everybody, including me and obviously the channel hard in 2020, except for Zelda Link to the Past, Zelda 4 Swords, which was done both at the same time because that was with Aaron, and to get the content on both games going. But one of the main problems was just content in general, because yes, I was doing a few more Hat in Time mods at the time, but I kind of crashed, especially during April of 2021, where I pretty much hit what I like to coin as my quarter-life crisis, and I was pretty much inactive. Meanwhile, everyone else was working on putting the Nerd Herd together, which is a collaborative channel, both on YouTube and Twitch, where we do weekly live streams on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, guaranteed, which we've obviously stopped for the Christmas season, but once we relaunch it, you'll see basically a This Just In news live stream on a Monday, which will pretty much kick things back into gear when we start live streaming regularly again. And the YouTube channel is obviously for archives, which I handle those side of things. And of course, I've got Psychonauts going over there as well, with other collaborative stuff, single with people hopping in just to chat while you're playing as chill, or we do competitive stuff, which I do actually want to discuss, because I do have some plans for the Nerd Herd, which I will be mentioning that in This Just In that we will be doing, so keep an eye out on that. But it involves versus, because Nerd Herd competes. It's one of the 3 segments that we have on the channel, Nerd Herd and Chill, which is stuff that we just chill and play. It's like stuff that doesn't have a defined end. It could be anything, like, oh, we're just messing about with Gmod or Halo Infinite. We're not like doing an actual competition, we're just playing to have fun. And Minecraft as well, that falls into that category. But anything that is like an actual adventure or campaign, like Neverwinter, or in my case Psychonauts, any of the Halo campaigns that you can do multiplayer or just single player, even still, basically any game that or even Portal, anything that has a defined end is, but even with Pokemon Mo, technically, with Kieran's side of things, that would be considered a Nerd Herd Adventures, because it's an adventure. You're going off on a journey, and you're getting to the end of it. That's the idea. And obviously the third, I say it's a third one, it's in the Nerd Herd Compete segment. Well, obviously we have, which we haven't done many of, but we do like custom tournaments, or, speedrun sort of thing. I mean, the Monospace, Space Kitsune, Merksblod, whatever you want to call him, man of many names, Sans. He tried doing a Minecraft speedrun, which I will admit didn't go well in terms of actually being successful, but it is, a competing sort of thing. If you do actually succeed, that can go onto a leaderboard. And that's where I want to put versus. I mean, we've already talked about it multiple times, and we did a lot of versus last year, which is actually a perfect segue to talk about what we mostly actually did last year. Because when it comes to versus and the Nerd Herd stuff, that's all collaborative stuff. Last year was supposed to be what I would have liked to call the year of reboot, because 2020 was really bad. Let's not deny it. So I wanted 2021 to be like a reboot, like, okay, we've like, you know, got a vaccine going. We can get out of this rut that the whole world is in, pandemic-wise, and let's bring things back up. Let's get the mood back up. Let's start getting on with stuff. And that's when I wanted to, you know, reboot Pokemon, because it was the only project on the channel that was never finished, and it made the most sense, but it ended up being a massive collaborative thing, and that's why it's taken so long to get through, because everyone needed to be available in order to hop in. Probably not going to make that a requirement, but at the same time I don't want to leave people out, so that's the reason why that's taken quite a while to get through. I've kind of already got it hanging around here on screen. I was going to talk about this later on, but it's part of the segue, really, even though it's a bit of a long one. Yeah, it's a collaborative thing, and we're going to finish it this year. I really want to finish it this year, at least Fire Red, because we're not going to do all 5 games in this year. But yeah, once that's done, that makes me happy. We finally beat Pokemon Fire Red proper and not in a Nuzlocke situation, and it's also a massive collaborative thing, which is fun. And of course, Kazoo, not Kazuo Psyche anymore, Kazoo, he uploads and streams his end on the Nerd Herd, because it is a collaborative thing. That's why it's not on his channel anymore, because he doesn't really use it much anymore. But obviously I edit my one down. I used to live stream it as well, so when Karia does hers, and anyone else who wants to do whatever they want to do with it, they can. But remember that I announced that back in February of 2021. That was like the starting point of trying to actually get Year of Reboots working. That's basically what this year is going to be, the Year of Reboots, because with the Nerd Herd channel coming to light, and I was more active there than here, plus in other places as well, getting back to the versus stuff. Yeah, participating in a lot of verses. In fact, here's 4 thumbnails already from everything that we did last year. 4 thumbnails, 4 races, versus, with the Super LP heroes, sprinkled throughout the year. One of them I actually won, and one of them was my winning pick. The other 2 I participated in, but they're all connected in some manner, because you've got Undertale, you've got Deltarune. I mean, they're connected obviously, because they're made by the same person, they're both RPGs, fair enough, but then you've got A Hat in Time, and then you've also got Spyro 2, which are both collectathon 3D platformers. So there's like a nice little synergy of pairs right there, and I participated in all of these, and I actually made these thumbnails, which are on the videos, with the Super LP Hero, so I contributed in terms of that as well. Not much else other than that, obviously participating in racing and all that, being a competitor. But yeah, I collaborate a lot with that, as well as live streams elsewhere, as I said, with other people, as well as, of course, the Nerd Herd, as I said, with Psychonauts, Halo, Minecraft, Neverwinter, just to name a few. It's that was basically the year of collaborations unofficially, but since a channel came out of it, both a YouTube archive channel, Twitch live streaming channel, where the archives are taken from to be put on YouTube, and not only that, but we've also hit affiliate as well. Pretty successful, I will admit, even though I would have probably wanted to be a little bit more in the designer side of things for the channel. That was happening during April, and I was crashing mentally. I mean, work was burning me out. I took like 2 full weeks once the 3rd lockdown of the UK finally feckin' ended in the middle of May, after my birthday. Yet another year, about 3 years in a row, where I wasn't able to have a big get-together at Pizza Hut. And now the local Pizza Hut is gone. Sucks to be me. But as you can see, I'm not letting that get to me, even though I'm telling the story, because I want to remain positive. This year will be the year of reboots, and it's not a reboot of the channel entirely. That would be absolutely stupid. Mainly because that I'm proud of some of the things that we've done. What I'm not proud of is the lack of videos on this channel. Like I said, last year I was busy elsewhere, and it was still online, so it's not like I've been completely dead, but I haven't been making things myself, and I want to get out of that rut. And I am motivated. It's in my brain. Obviously, when I'm at work, I want to get home and do it all. And I'll probably be taking a back seat on the Nerd Herd. But when it comes to versus, finally getting to the segue, versus with the group, with groups that are out of our immediate friend group, like with that are not in Nerd Herd or just my friends in general, and I'm versing against other people. We'll probably have the videos bounce back and forth between our channels, like what we did with our very first versus, the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time versus with Blue Hedgehog Man 17. However, versus with my friends in my immediate friend group in our community, or people from our community that want to join in and, you know, actually commit to make it going through the whole thing, we'll probably host on the Nerd Herd, so the videos will be there, but I'll make a playlist here if I participate in them, so you'll still see them and I'll push them, because I pushed the Super LP Heroes videos as well. Speaking of, Obviously, that was Gold League Gamer, who hosts the Super LP Heroes racing channel. So if, you know, someone else hosts the races, that's out of my hands. I'm just a participator. So it'll be up to them to get the videos out. But once again, I will still push. So they won't be on the Nerd Herd. They will be here in a playlist, but they'll be the ones who are hosting the video, whoever is hosting those verses. So when it comes to verses, that's the plan. Makes it fair, because if it's not like, you know, a collaborative thing that involves our friend group or community that are part of the Nerd Herd that we've got, why would we put it there? I mean, if I'm there, obviously I'll host it on mine, and it seems fair to host the other half with the people that we're with, so it bounces all the way through, and then you have a playlist that just has all the videos there, everyone gets equal views, it seems fair. But when it comes to someone else who's like, oh, I'm hosting it and I do a racing channel sort of thing like the Super LP Heroes, that's their thing, makes sense that all the videos should just be there, because it's like, well, this is what we do. Do you want to join in? Yeah, I'll join in. I'll just put it in a playlist on my channel. So, and I'll contribute by making a thumbnail, because I like doing that sort of thing. But for reboots, now this is what I wanted to get into in terms of the channel. I'm not rebooting the channel. Again, that's stupid. I don't want to be losing all my hat in time, because we're still going up on that. I've already announced that we've still got stuff going on, and we're putting a hold on to that. That's just stupid. That's out of the question. What I want to do in terms of a reboot is more of a soft reboot sort of thing, as in, like, refresh my mental state, get back into the rhythm of making videos while obviously working, which I have been able to do in the past. It was still 10 to 6 for the majority. I mean, the times may have been slightly different. Obviously, I do a 1 day, 2 day, 7 day kind of thing over a 2-week period when it comes to work currently. I mean, the last video before the last video, which was the What's in the Treasure Chest video, which will come out before this, was my update video talking about the release of One Shot with Super Linkario, because that was a big thing, but then it just kind of went silent again after that, and I need to change that. So to get back into the rhythm of you know, making new Let's Plays, because it's not just going to be rebooting. Obviously, I also need to reboot my mentality on planning, because 358 over 2 days, I haven't actually touched that since I last said I'm going to, but, you know, if I keep my motivation up, I might, but I'm not giving any promises now. When it's ready, I will start to talk about it again. That's the last time I'm going to mention it. Other than the fact that, obviously, I keep putting it off, because it takes too much planning, but that holds back other projects as well, and I'm just like, well, that's why I had Prince of Persia at the time, but hopefully that remake will come out this year, but I'm not going to talk about it until it actually does come out, because we heard nothing last year when they said it was going to come out in January of that year, then it got pushed to April, and then we just heard nothing. And from what we could see with the trailers, it looked alright for the most part. It looked finished to me, but I guess they just did a complete rework on the graphics, because that's the only explanation I can think of. Alright. Obviously, I prevented myself from doing the PS3 version because of the remake, and it kept getting delayed, so then we ended up doing Shadow Man bonus episodes on the remastered, because that came out right after I got out my slump during April. That was kind of like my mini reboot, like I'm getting back into things, but it's not like full-blown, and it wasn't a new project, it was still continuing off other ones, which is again for a hat in time with Vanessa's Curse DLC now coming out. We're going back to that. And we also got other bonus videos to do on Four Swords Anniversary, as well as continuing on Pokemon Fire Red as well. So, as I said, we pretty much went into detail of those at the end of the What's in the Treasure Chest video. That's why that they've been taking as long as they have. So I'll be obviously continuing on those, but for new projects. These projects, I have got 3 planned, and these 3 projects don't require a lot of planning. I want to go back to a time where, at the early points in the channel, I knew, well, a majority. Twilight Princess is kind of a thing, because I keep missing things even if I've covered them. I still learn new things, like, oh, there's a grotto there that I didn't know about. When it comes to making projects, like with Donkey Kong 64, Ico, those examples, I can just play them. I know even Final Fantasy 6 or even Kingdom Hearts 1 didn't need to do a lot of planning for those. I could just pick it up and play, and I want to get into more projects that I don't need to plan a lot in order to actually, you know, get the ball rolling again. These are games I also wanted to cover at some point, but, you know, I mean, one of them was actually requested quite a few times throughout the years, and I just never got around to doing it. It's time to change that. So, first of all, announcements. I don't even know if I'm going to be cutting any of this out, because I'm just kind of on a roll and looking at my notes as I'm saying all this. First, announcement of the day would be Banjo-Kazooie, a 100% walkthrough. This will be on the Xbox Live Arcade version, because all I have is a Xbox 360, so obviously I can't get Rare Replay, but that means I'll be able to cover all of the profile pics, all of the achievements, but anything that I pretty much do, other than recollecting everything and after dying, because you don't have to do that in that version, because they actually fixed that out. I mean, even if that happened on the N64 version, I would just cut that out unless I died again, so it just cuts the faff in that respect, but it will also be, like, you know, remastered 1080p, widescreen, and, you know, it'll just be clean. It'll be clean and smooth, and it's like, I do have it on 64. I'd rather cover that version so I don't have to make a bonus video saying, hey, we've got these achievements. So it just saves the gump, because it's the exact same game otherwise, like the exact same game. The Banjo-Kazooie, we can also do stop and swap, like proper stop and swap, because that's restored, and that's got a lot of history behind it, so I can cover that as well. So I think that'll be a fun time. Half of the game I know pretty well. I just need to really memorize where the where all the Mombo tokens are. That's pretty much it. It's gonna be like Donkey Kong 64. I know what I want to do. I'll just grab it as I go, kind of thing, because it's a collectathon. That's what you do. So it's just all there. I mean, I guess another one that I didn't plan a lot for, actually, saying that, was the Spyro games. So we'll probably talk about that in a minute. But for now, my brother, Master Aaron, has suggested that, you know, with the 3D remake of Luigi's Mansion, since we've had it, if we can get another copy, which I do plan on doing, we can do a Luigi's Mansion 3D co-op. Now, I do mention multiple times that I wouldn't cover Luigi's Mansion 3, which I like more than Luigi's Mansion 2, because I haven't done Luigi's Mansion 2 yet. I don't like Luigi's Mansion 2 as much as Luigi's Mansion 3, or 1 for that matter. 1's still my end-all be-all favourite, because it's a lot more bite-sized and easy to replay. Ironically enough, Luigi's Mansion 3D is actually the next game in the series, if you really think about it, because right after the intro of like maybe the first or 2 missions or so of Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon, EGAD sends Luigi, who is in development, into Luigi's Mansion. Like, if you play Luigi's Mansion on GameCube, there's no Luigi. Then you go into Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon, but behind the scenes, near the start of the game, EGAD sends Luigi into Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS, and that actually does help the development of Luigi, because with that data collected from Luigi's abilities, actually impacts how he works or is perfected for use in Luigi's Mansion 3 after Luigi's Mansion 2. So it goes like Luigi's Mansion, the beginning of Luigi's Mansion 2, which when Luigi's Mansion 3D happens for Luigi at least, and then you go to the rest of Luigi's Mansion 2, and then Luigi's Mansion 3. So in a way, this is the next one to cover, because I did cover the arcade, which does cover like the first level of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon only, and I did a comparison on that as well with the 3DS version. So technically, I have recorded these in order. So that is probably going to be what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a co-op on Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS. So that'll be our 3D Let's Play of that game. But those videos will be hosted on my brother's channel. I'll be Luigi, while he be Luigi. So that's going to be how that'll work. Now, the reason why I put off talking about more on Spyro is because that's actually going to be the next Let's Play 38. And whenever I get around to it, because, I mean, again, as I was talking about, Spyro 1, 2, and 3, technically, yes, they were also Let's Plays after Kingdom Hearts Final Mix that I didn't plan. Well, I planned on doing it on the remade versions, but I was going to do them at some point until the remake came out, and I was like, I really hope this will happen. It did happen, so I played that, and that means it was a bit of a weird mix of, I know what I'm doing, but also this is blind, because I haven't seen these graphics, like, for the majority of the game. I don't know how it plays out. And it was interesting because of the amount of glitches I bumped into. It was ridiculous on what I bumped into. I just let the videos speak for themselves at that point. But yeah, we've done 3 of them, and I did say that I would probably do Spyro 4 Enter the Dragonfly at some point. And ironically enough, now I'm showing this, it's going to be the GameCube version, by the way, so it'll be HD Carby, 480p, 60 frames, even though the game will drop frames. I was debating on leaving this because at the time when the Reignited trilogy came out, there was talks of, oh, maybe they'll make more games after that, and lo and behold, Crash got a new Crash 4, It's About Time, instead of a remake of Wrath of Cortex. I mean, that makes sense, going a different direction, and funnily enough, it is actually kind of like a timeline split sort of deal. unless Wrath of Cortex is supposed to take place after It's About Time now. Never know. It could technically fit in there if you so wish, because Crash Wrath of Cortex technically doesn't have a number on it, even though it's normally known as Crash 4 with True Insanity being 5. But saying all that, once that came out, everyone was like pretty much thinking, okay, are they gonna like make a new Spyro game, or are they going to not just remake but completely redo Enter the Dragonfly to how it was supposed to be, like a director's cut sort of thing? Like, obviously the game, being in the state that it is considered unfinished. It was super condensed down and just sealed up as a finished package, just so that they could sell the game as a finished product, as it were. And if you know the history of the game, it's actually impressive that it even works and looks and plays the way that it does to begin with, which is actually impressive. Although, again, by knowing the history, you also feel bad for the developers. And I will need to, well, in terms of planning, that would be something that I would need to brush up on, just to not get my facts incorrect. Because I know what I'm talking about, but I may say it wrong or not explain things properly. I want to, you know, brush up on the history of that again. But I would love to talk about that while playing the game. So, if I get a chance. So that'll be pretty fun, and of course with the glitches that I've shown off before, I can get them in better clarity as well. I think the game has a widescreen mode, so we don't have to force it with Swiss, but I'm going to have to use Swiss to force into 480p anyway. So that'll be pretty cool. And those are basically my three main Let's Play ideas that are new, that I want to get into. So there's no plans on Luigi's Mansion 2 yet still. I'm not talking about 358. And as I said, Majora's Mask 3D will probably take the 39th spot or the 40th spot, depending on how long it actually takes me to do, because I've got a few more to do, but obviously if I'm doing all this, it is going to once again take more time. But if I'm motivated, I'll be able to sprinkle it in here and there elsewhere. I mean, once I've finished a Let's Play, I take a little bit of a break anyway, so if I take a bit of a break, I can then get on with Majora's Mask 3D. I think when I'm finished with Majora's Mask 3D, is that when I'll actually be starting to really get down on 358. But those are the plans for new Let's Plays. So there are new Let's Plays in the pipeline. And as I said with Versus as well, I'll announce those on this just in on the Nerd Herd when we've got them going and if I'm participating in them. So I've mentioned that we have ongoing stuff, even though I haven't gone too much in detail with that, because I've been talking about like getting up to this point from the past 2 years, as well as new projects in the like up here to execute. Because, you know, I want to get back into video creation in terms of, you know, doing Let's Plays. But when I look back as well, even before then, like when we started, yes, I want to get back into doing Let's Plays that I don't need to plan too much, but sometimes you look back and you think, I could do that better. And I have talked about that before as well, actually. I think it was one of my anniversary videos or something, probably. Can't remember, because there's so many videos, and I probably have mentioned it here and there and elsewhere during passing anyway, even maybe in normal videos. And that's a thing. Of course, I want to do more randomizers on different games at some point. I want to do ROM hacks as well, but they're not in my mind at the moment. I want to get some other content done, but I do want to start redoing old projects, because I feel like I could do them better, or I can record them better because I have better equipment now. I have a new PC that I recently got last year. I'm not using my Satsuma microphone, I'm using, you know, the Blue Snowball, so it's better audio quality and you don't have all that white noise. And of course I have an Elgato 60 as well, so not only that, it'll be 1080p 60 frames at the highest, so I can record at 1080p 60. It's going to be clean. And I'm following the rule of 3. I've got 3 Let's Plays that I really want to redo, and I can pretty much do these at any point, and 2 of them are actually pretty short. In fact, all 3 of them could be considered pretty short, and they are the earliest of the early, barring the unfinished Pokemon, which we've already got going on, which is why I talked about it earlier, as well as Twilight Princess, because even though that wasn't done in the best quality, because that was my very first Let's Play, it holds a special place in my heart, and at the same time, that was my first equipment. It's going to look like that, but it was also in-depth, it was 100%, and it was a clean 70 parts for the main Let's Play, not counting bonus episodes or going back in the HD version, which I would need to redo anyway, because those videos were bad quality with the Roxio, because the footage kept glitching. You can see why I want to redo some bits, but that's a discussion for another time. What I want to do is focus on Let's Plays 2, 3, and 4. So, in a very odd order, because I want to talk about these in a specific order, maybe in order of priority, is Luigi's Mansion. the GameCube version. That's what we did for the Halloween special 4th Let's Play back on the starting year of this entire channel, which I started halfway through during my first year at college. And yeah, obviously, you know, I can't really do much else other than use the HD copy to get it in a 480p via HDMI, but it'll still be 4x3 because I think stretching it messes with the menus, because most games back in those days are built for 4x3 unless you stretch them. I'm not stretching it. You know, the Game Boy Horror is also a thing, so I think that would just get cut off. I could experiment, but I'll probably be doing that in 4x3, but at least it'll be super clean. The idea on going back to this, though, is that I know where a lot more secrets are. And if we're already doing a co-op of the full game anyway, where Aaron will probably know where all the secrets are as well, probably even more than me, and I'll learn another few tricks or so, either before or after, I can still do a bit of research. That's not a problem. That's planning right there, but it's just a quick little, okay, so there's a mouse here, that's random chance, I might have missed that at some point, or there's a speedy spirit here that I never knew about. It's just look at a picture and you're good. But most of them I know, and I believe Aaron does as well, so when we're doing the co-op, we'll probably see the same thing, but that'll be on the 3DX. But I also want to update the original Let's Play that we did, so I think that'd be cool. Plus, never actually did the Hidden Mansion. I talked about it, but me being ignorant and never actually played the Hidden Mansion on the PAL version, because I live in the UK, I didn't realise that you can ride the Poltergust while hoovering up Boo Lossus, and on the 3D version, you don't actually have that version of the boss fight on there, even though it keeps them, I believe, the mirrored aspect of the Hidden Mansion, plus the stronger suction, plus the stronger enemies, as well as obviously the differences in where items are placed, because you earn a lot more money, as well as the lack of hearts for healing, which is simple. You could leave, go to the normal mansion, and then just go into Chauncey's room, whack the chest, get full health, and then save, quit, and leave again and get back in the thing. Easily cheesable. Don't know if that works in the 3D version. It might lock you into whatever you choose. We'll probably do the Hidden Mansion on there as well, because we got to show off platinum portraits if we can get them, because that makes it easier actually, because we've got 2 of the amount of double suction. But on the original PAL Hidden Mansion on the GameCube, I never actually covered that, and I never actually been in it as well, so that'll be like a kind of half-blind experience for me, which will be different, because I never actually played it, and it'll probably be fun. So, yeah, that's definitely one that I want to do, and that is, well, Luigi's Mansion's a short game. You can blitz, like, half of it in, like, a decent few hours, so I can easily just sit down, record a bunch, and then edit them as I go. So, that's not going to be a problem. It'll be an easy way to get back into the swing of editing, as well as updating the Let's Play that is old. I should mention, with all these Let's Plays that I'll be redoing, the old ones will still be available. The playlist will be available, but I'll probably make them unlisted so they're not searched for. You'll have to click the playlist to look, because I would like the new ones to actually be there. I'm not raising history, I'm just updating the quality. Speaking of, I've gotten better with Pikmin, so I want to redo Pikmin. I know I could just do a randomizer and I'll see how I can improve, but the thing is that I have gone back to Pikmin 1 occasionally over the years, and I feel like I've cut my time down a bit more by another couple of days. So that's the beauty of Pikmin 1. It's so small, it's so concise that you're able to plan a lot better than Pikmin 2, and even then there's not much of a time limit there. The day ends, but then you could just hop back down another day, kill the enemies, and move on. Pikmin 2 Kaizo, obviously, we've still got going on, but I'll get back to that when I get to that, because I've also got live streams with, you know, Shadow Man 2 coming, which I want to pick up, because I've been waiting on a PS2 back with compatible PS3, so, but anyway. With Pikmin 100% walkthrough, the thumbnail shows that I'm holding a Wii remote. I was thinking of doing the Wii version. I know that my cousin Super Lucario actually has the Wii version, so I could borrow that. If not, I can just cover that as bonus, because I never did bonus video on those features, but I pretty much mentioned them in passing anyway, I'm pretty sure, which is like the back in time feature that you get from the original Pikmin 3. You can go back to a particular day and then redo it from up to that point. But obviously, it's 480p widescreen instead of 360p 576i or 480p, whatever the resolution is, depending on your settings on the GameCube. And the thing is, I won't be able to force that in a 16:9 because elements of like the menus actually do overhang. Not as bad as Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 is more like accessible to make it widescreen with a force code, but forcing Pikmin 1 into 16:9, nah, it has to be kept 4:3, unfortunately. But it will still look a lot better, and, you know, all the Pikmin won't just be a blur, because, you know, composite output on the Dazzle, which is 360p in capture quality, this will be a lot better and cleaner. It'll also be 60 frames as well. So, and plus, the game is so short once again. It's like, it's an easy one to redo. So this is like a good, once again, soft reboot. You're seeing the pattern here. So I've gotten better. If I do play the Wii version, obviously the timer will be short as well, but I'll also have like a bit of extra reach to chuck the Pikmin. Yes, I can point to the other side of the screen and whistle, which would probably be helpful as well. But when it comes to actually, like, you know, playing the game with the time limit that I've got, it'll probably be better. Saying that, actually, I think that with the Wii version of Pikmin 1, they added the Pikmin 2 AI to it. A bit of a mixed bag, because yes, they'll actually pick stuff up when you chuck them at them, and they defeat them. They'll pick them up immediately instead of coming back to you, and you've got to send them off again. But at the same time, if it carries over the whistle, which I don't know if it does, that could be pain. But finally, the big one, which I'm actually still working on doing, because, would you believe, at the time of recording this video, which is, you know, at the beginning of 2022, roughly 2 weeks ago, apparently someone live streamed that very version and put it together, and when I went to go check that very link, at the time I was doing, which is obviously 2 weeks after that live stream happened, can't remember the dude's name, I'll probably put it on screen or in the card up here, you know, might as well. The link for the mod, died, and what I'm talking about is Metroid Other M. I want to redo my 100% walkthrough on that, but I also want to do it on the Maximum Edition, and I can't get the mod. I can get 2 update files for a cutscene and a music track, and we actually had a conversation in this dude's comment section on the video, because he was confused, like, I just used this download link, and I'm like, well, that download link only has 2 update files, and he's like, that's what I used. I'm like, well, the one that actually has the whole thing is just a dead link, and he tried to help me out. Obviously, he wasn't going to, like, do anything with his ISO. I did recommend decompiling it and just send me the folders, because then I'll have to, obviously, reassemble it myself and put the correct files back together. I'll have to do the work myself, but he said that may be a bit dubious, so you would have to get the mod itself and then patch the files in yourself that way, because the mod would just give you the patch files and you would have to replace them as you go, which is what I had to do for those very 2 files. Which means this will be on Dolphin, obviously. So that means upscaled 1080, like internal upscale up to 1080p, widescreen, and it will also have controller support. I'm holding a Switch controller. I actually like modified. If you remember the old thumbnail, I'm going to show the old thumbnail. Soul Calibur 5. I made like a ball suit sort of power suit sort of style thing for me, but I can't access that file, and plus that was also very shit quality. My thumbnails were really bad. That's why I wanted to remake the thumbnails as well. That was where another lot of effort went in around here. It's like I wanted to hold a Switch controller, because that's what I'm going to be using, because I'm going to have Joe aiming for when we go into first person. That's going to be awesome. I have tested it out. The controls work. I can actually play the game on Dolphin as well. Not often that I would actually do a game like that, but the mod also restores the gravity suit, which I bloody well want. So, once I can actually access the mod, we will be doing Metroid Other M. I wanted to come into this video saying, this is what we're doing, but more delays on getting these 2 videos out, the What's in the Treasure Chest and this, was because I've been trying to, like, actually find a download link for the mod. And I'm like, this is a very popular mod. How's it just gone? Does no one else have the mod? Really? So, it's a bit of a weird one. But someone did say about 2 days before New Year's, from 2021 to 2022, just saying for the sake of clarity if anyone watches this beforehand or doesn't know the times or whatever. Yeah, he was informed that the original mod link was dead, so, and he's been doing, this person has also been doing improvements on GBA Temp, which has been like, oh, I've changed another thing. Here's the file, so you swap it out with the original file, keep the name the same, copy paste, overwrite, and then that change is now applied. So I think what's going to happen is that when he's finished making his own mod pack, he'll just pop that up, and it will be like a Maximum Edition Plus or something. I won't change the thumbnail, but it's working off of the original, the Maximum Edition first release sort of thing. So we'll see how that goes, but I really want to redo Metroid Other M, mainly because it wasn't a 100% walkthrough. It was like, oh, I'm just playing the game, If I get everything beforehand, great. If not, it will just be on the final cleanup. And that was not the attitude to have on a walkthrough, because the whole point of a walkthrough is like, hey, you have an opportunity to get this item. This is how you get it as early as possible. Plus, the game doesn't have a lot of sequence breaking opportunities. If we can do a little trick in order to get it early, that would be awesome. Kill enemies in a room, it will show it on the map as well, and normally I would do that because that's like a good like little Zelda thing, like, hey, you beat all the enemies in a room, here's a chest sort of thing, because remember, Metroid was the fusion of the side-scrolling action of Mario and the item to use as key aspect, plus exploration of Zelda, made Metroid. So, plus, again, the gameplay of Metroid Other M is great, but the original Let's Play also didn't show that very well, because as I was using the Dazzle, and it was on here, yes, I mean, OBS, I would still do that, but the problem was, I had to have the sensor bar here as well, and it was very finicky, and I had to keep doing this, and it was just, it wasn't very reliable, and I died a lot of times because of it, and hopefully that won't be a problem when I do it again, because I'll be using gyro on a controller through Steam, so... because I've got the whole profiles and stuff, because the rest of the tutorial I was able to follow fine. It's just the mod itself I'm missing, which was the whole point of the video. It's like, how to set up the mod and all these controller settings. I'm like, done everything else. Where's the mod? That's just the thing. But once I'm able to do it, or get my hands on the mod itself, we will redo it. I mean, if all else fails, I'll just do the main game again, but I'll do it on Dolphin so I have better controls. I just want my gravity suit. But yeah, those are the 3 Let's Plays that are new. Well, except for maybe, you know, Luigi's Mansion co-op, but it's different. So 3 new Let's Plays coming away when I get to them, plus everything that we've got additional going on right now. Once we've probably wrapped up one of those, we'll probably get onto one of these. If not, I'll probably just start working on a Redux maybe, or maybe even Banjo-Kazooie, because as I said, the whole point is that these are all here, and I can just hop into them, so I can get on with it. And now I have Dolphin set up as well, I can now boot up my old laptop and move over Kaizo Edition as well. So once I'm done with one of the live streams, I can then get back onto that as well. So I'm saying all this, and I want to do it. So you know, I need to keep that momentum. But that is the update video. Again, I don't know if I'm actually going to be editing any of this down, to be fair, but I'm already 40 minutes in, but there was a lot to talk about. And I've actually, as I said, I was looking at my notes to make sure I was on point and not going on too much. But ironically enough, the What's in the Chest Chest video is almost just as long as this. Didn't want to make that an hour-and-a-half video. You can see why I split this up into 2. Plus, the channel needs this. You need to know this. So that was the idea of this video in its entirety. Last year was unofficially the year of collaborations. Was going to be what this year will be known as the year of reboots. Soft reboots with a star to notify that's what it is. It's not a full reboot of the channel. It's a soft reboot to get things back rolling proper. Because last year, the only Let's Play I got done out of the 2 that I started, because, you know, that was Shadow Man's Incoming. The one that I finished was like a day before, within a day, start to finish, Zelda Ancient Stone Tablets, and that was, in terms of Let's Play order, immediately after A Link to the Past and 4 Swords. So, there we go. But yeah, so I hope you guys are looking forward to what is coming up. Obviously, follow on social media so you can, like, keep an eye on what's going on anywhere, really. Life or games or news, what have you. Please check out the Nerd Herd as well, or any other channels that I've mentioned. I'll probably put the Nerd Herd as well as that person in the description below. Obviously, we've got cards up here as well. If you want to re-click that little exclamation mark, you can access them. And yeah, we're going to try and reboot here. Please check out any of the channels that I mentioned as well, especially the Super LP Heroes for their verses, Blue Ultraman 17, because I mentioned him in passing, the Nerd Herd as well, and that person that I've been trying to sort out and find out how to actually use or get a hold of the Metroid Other M Maximum Edition mod, so I can actually do that, because I really want to. Check the Discord down below as well, so you can chat with me anytime, or just, you know, comment, and I'll reply, because I'm normally on the ball with that stuff, even at work. Just have a little look, and bloop, and I will reply to you, good sirs and madams. So I hope you've had, once again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, as much as you could have, because it must have been better than last year, let's be honest. But with all that, hope you stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.